Testing, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. All right, everyone. Welcome back to another Friday night live stream here at Christ-Centered Ironworks. So glad to have you in the shop this evening. Say hello, Jessica, to all the friendly faces there.
Yes, hello, everyone.
Well, I guess not friendly faces, but friendly thumbnails. Hopefully they're friendly thumbnails, icons.
As far as I can tell.
Comments, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I will go ahead and go in real quick how the stream is going to work out this evening. So this evening I will be actually working on conference prep. So for those of you who don't know, I will be at the Murfreesboro conference. I will be one of the main guest demonstrators there at the conference in Murfreesboro, Tennessee here in May. And so that's coming up very, very soon. And so I'm continuing on my conference prep this evening, and in fact, for the next several live streams, that's exactly what I will be doing as well, as I will be working on conference prep items as we get closer. So one of the things I'll be working on this evening, in addition to doing our giveaway stream this evening, is I'm going to actually be working on some collar work. So I've been doing some storyboarding for this conference, and I need to basically make the same part again and again and again and again and again, even before I can get to the actual grill that I'll be demonstrating. So I will be working on making collars this evening, so I hope to be able to share a lot of information that I personally know about collars, and hey, who knows, maybe I'll even learn something from you guys out there in the community. But it ought to be a pretty good stream this evening. Have a Heart Bowl multi-pack set. We're going to be having a small 120 degree tool and a large 120 degree tool that we'll be giving away, as well as a Beazler Blacksmith hammer, another Beazler Blacksmith hammer blank provided to us. So by Beazler himself, so thank you very much for that. So that'll be one of the items. We'll also got some stickers to give away, some of the coveted Christ-Centered Ironworks brand Flux stickers, and we also have an awesome little keychain to give away as well in this stream. And there will not be a mystery tool this month, mainly because I haven't had a chance to buy any tools in or do any reviews or do anything like that. I have just been swamped in the shop, so no mystery tool this month. But we'll still have some giveaway items anyhow, some door prizes, so I hope you guys will stick around and enjoy the stream nonetheless.
Technically, all the prizes were mysteries because they weren't pre-announced.
Exactly, they are all mysteries. And technically, the 120 degree tool is still a tool.
It is a tool.
It is a tool.
So there you go.
Yeah, it's for laying out trivets and stuff. So let's go to camera number 2 real quick, Jess, and then we'll get to the comments as I heat up a piece of stock. So what I've got here, part of my conference prep is, I have these vise inserts that I have made. Now, these are to actually hold collars in the vise to help me set up with, making the collars, one, and the other function of these is to take and hold the collars so I can set the collar itself on the actual ironwork. So I've just made some of these. They're actually fairly easy to make. I have a video on YouTube showing how to make these. But they go right in here, and they make a nice little set of collar stock jaws there. Now, I've already went through the hassle of beating up a ton of half-round material. So this started off as 3/8 inch round rod. Can they see that half-round profile, Jess, really well?
Yep.
So this started off as half-round, as round stock, and then I beat it into a half-round die and made up all, basically transformed it into half-round material. So that will be the collars that I'll be putting and assembling my my grill piece together with for the conference. Part of the tools, it's kind of like tools to make tools to make tools to make tools. So I have a top set here, again, has that half-round depression in it, and then I have a bottom set as well, or a Hardy tool swedge for making that same half-round depression. Fondly enough, that's what I made the half-round stock in, was this bottom die, as you can see here. Just at the anvil, forged up a whole bunch of this stuff to make collars with. And then this is used in combination to make forge welded collars. So I use these on top and bottom like so. on a collar to set collars and things like that. So you don't need all of these tools to make a simple wrapped collar, but to make forged collars, you do need to have a nice set of top and bottom swedges and a way of setting up that collar in the vise onto your piece in your ironwork. So I already got a piece in the forge. We'll go back to the main cam, Jess. We'll talk to people.
All right.
And get to listening to people.
Okie dokie.
So I'm going to get that hot, and then we'll go into the next portion of this whole thing.
Mitchell Edwards says, I have my tickets for the conference.
Woohoo! Awesome. Well, hope to see you there, Mitchell.
George Anderson says, sorry, I just joined. Collars or colors?
Collars. C-O-L-L-A-R-S. Collars.
Debaka says, had said at the beginning of the stream, we'll wonder if we'll see Olga tonight or the ice anvil.
Well, as you can see, Olga's back in her rightful position in the shop.
Yeah, the ice anvil only lasted for about a week for all the videos we had, and the final video, after that, it was no more.
Yeah, it was no more. It's funny how you say it like that. It was
it was no more.
It was persona non grata.
Yeah, I was trying to see if I don't think we've released the last video on that just yet, so I didn't want to spoil it.
There'll be more coming.
Albert Forge says, do you have a double Bar Run Forge credit? No, actually, there's 2 different Bar Run Forges accounts, and both of them are members, and so they get 2 lines on the members reel.
All right, let's see here. I gotta see if these are cool enough to touch. They are. Sweet.
Robert Wanis, good to see you in here. Keith.
Bobby here.
Yep. GWI Railroad, hello.
Hello, hello.
Niels Agrin, good evening to you.
Hello, Niels. Good to have you.
David Henderson says, almost forgot you guys were streaming today out in the shop, but I'll listen in.
Cool. Glad you're listening in. So, good.
Oh, Blackbird Ironworks says, Roy, you should sell the water as an ice Olga kit.
An ice Olga kit. That would work. So, let's go to camera 2, Jess, real quick. So one of the things I've been working on for my conference prep, now I have small little drifts and things like that that I've had in the past for making mandrels, for doing collar work, but those things are always getting lost. They're always getting chucked in the scrap bin somehow. You know, they fall on the floor, they get kicked with other things, and then, you know, I forget where they're at. So I decided enough is enough. I'm going to end up making a mandrel to take and do collars on and make it a multi-sized mandrel. So I've actually worked on this yesterday, drawing down some different mandrels to do my collar work with. Now I've got them in different widths and things like this, and this was made out of 1045, and the 1045 was provided to me by Alan Schoenert, or Rusty Hubcap Forge. So thank you for that, Rusty Hubcap. So this way I could make this up. But anyway, so this here is like 3/8. I got it labeled as well, so this way it's definitely a tool. It looks like a tool, feels like a tool, and it's made of tool steel. So this won't get lost on me. Again, like I said, usually I just take a small bit of bar stock, forge it to the size that it needs to be to make the collars up for the project. And then again, they're like one-time use. They kind of disappear after the project's over with. So I finally invested the time to actually make a proper tool for what we're doing. So you're going to see this in the event. But I've got 3/8 by 1.25 width, 3/8 by 1 inch, 3/8 by 3/4, and 3/8 by half. Those are your standard kind of box standard collar sizes that you'll probably be working with if you're doing small ornamental work. Nothing too crazy. I've got the next size up, one of those that I've made mandrels as well for the same purpose. Again, I have 1/2 inch thickness by 1.25 width, 1/2 inch thickness by 1 inch, and then 1/2 inch thickness by 3/4. You're going to see this used today in this project. And then, last but not least, I made up an even bigger collar, and again, all these are standard size collars that you might find around just about any ornamental work. I've got a real thick boy here. This one's 5/8 inch thick by 1.25 inches, 5/8 by 1, and 5/8 by 3/4 bar stock there. And as you can see, again, it looks like a tool, feels like a tool, and hopefully I won't lose it because these took a little bit of time to make. So, but those are a mandrel. What those are for, and I'll show this off here real quick. What these are for is you use them in conjunction, say with this. Once you've got your stock made up, maybe you've got it laid out, marked out to length, you set this in the vise, see? And then you lock that up tight. So you've got one side of the vise insert that holds the shape of your half round or your center rib collar or whatever. This just takes that shape so it doesn't get flattened out or bit down. And then you've got the mandrel in here to shape the collar around. Now that's important, not necessarily in this particular instance where we're bending up just a little bit at a time, but where this is most important is you'll see when we're at the anvil where we need to use a top and bottom set to take and drive up that collar and do a forged out collar. So here it helps to create your spacing the right amount. You can say, okay, hey, I need it to be yay long. You can set it down in there, get everything kind of lined up, get it locked in, bend it over, and get things started with the right amount of lengths that you need, stuff like that. But that's the whole purpose of this mandrel. Now the reason why this mandrel has to be made out of some high carbon material is because if this was made out of soft, say just mild steel, it has a tendency, once it gets hot, for wherever you're bending at to roll over that edge, for that edge to get kind of rolled over. So you do need the toughness of high carbon tool steel. That being said, this is not hardened. This isn't hardened and quenched and heat treated. This is as forged. In fact, if anything, it's been annealed a couple times. It's been sat to rest. This just has to be tough. It doesn't have to be hard. In fact, if this is hard and you go to whack on stuff around this, you could end up causing some fracturing, and you don't want to do that after you've made a really nice tool. So I just wanted to show you guys that so you guys can get a little bit of a grasp of kind of where we're going with things here.
George Anderson says, how do you keep that thing looking so nice? I don't know what I'm doing wrong. All my tools have rust all over them.
Okay, so that tool is freshly made, George. So that tool is actually freshly made, so that's why it looks so nice. It looks so nice because it's freshly made. It is a freshly made tool, so it's going to look real nice. Really, one way of taking and making your tools super nice is to use them. Keep using them, oil them when they're not in use. I can't recommend this for anybody to do just because of the carcinogenic nature of it, but used motor oil, I've rubbed a lot of my tools down with used motor oil, and it just, I mean, like anything that's greased up, it doesn't rust, right? If it doesn't rust on your vehicle with used motor oil, it's not going to rust, right, anywhere else. So that's kind of been my theory on it. I keep all my tools really well greased, oiled, things like that. They will rust, but it's just kind of what it is. I don't worry too much about it. You can spray stuff down with rust converter, and that'll help, you know, kind of darken the tool up, make it look a little bit more presentable. But really the main thing is just use it. Use the tool often, and while it's still warm, you know, from being in use, go ahead and give it a wipe down with some oil before you put it away, and it'll keep the rust off for the most part.
Yeah, where we're at in Michigan,
Yep.
Our humidity is normally like 70 to 90% most of the time. So everything around here just gets rust on it. That's just how it is.
Yep. So let's go back to this
Okay.
camera real quick, Jess. So I'm showing this off here. So this is a bundle. This has already been forge welded up. This is a multi-piece scroll portion. This is like just one segment. Now this segment is actually part of my storyboarding. So this won't actually be part of the, you know, part of my actual project at Murfreesboro, but it's part of the storyboarding process. But I need to put a collar on here. So how do I figure out how big of a, like what I need for a collar, right? Because that's what everybody asks. There's a couple methods you can go about figuring out what length of stock you need for your collar. If you want to go the mathematical route, the best way that I can explain it, the best thing that I have found, you can find it, I believe, in the Blacksmith cookbook put out there by Francis Whitaker. It's also in the Cacero's books. It's also in a lot of other literature around blacksmithing because guys have figured this out over the centuries that people have been doing it. But what you do is you add up the length of all your sides. So, so if you had let's just say if you had a 1-inch square piece that you needed to throw a collar around, you would add all those inches up. So you would have 1 by 1 by 1 by 1 by 1. So you'd have 4 inches of material there. And then you measure the thickness of the collar and you times that by 2. Now, that is to get you close. You're going to get real close with that. That will guarantee that you will have plenty of collar material to get around. But here's where that math breaks down. The math breaks down on that depending on what type of collar you're choosing to do. So if you're just doing a butted together collar where it just comes around and it touches itself, okay? If you're just doing that, you need a little less material. If you're doing a wrapped collar where it comes this way and it covers itself on a bevel, like on a bevel, 2 bevels laying together, then that method works. That double the thickness of the collar, top to bottom, will work for you. So you, at any rate, you always have to do a test sample based upon the work that you're going to be doing. And then forge welded collars, those are a whole nother breed in of themselves because you're stretching the material, right? You're displacing the material as you forge weld it, so you may not need as much material. So you will have to use that math. Again, you add up the total of all the sides of the piece to be collared, and then you add twice the material thickness of the collar that's going around. So you will double up whatever that material is. So say if that was 3/8 inch tall, which it is not, this is like 1/4 inch tall, so you would add a 1/2 inch to your length. So theoretically, going around a 1 by 1 by 1 by 1 plus something that's a 1/4 inch thick, that collar's a 1/4 inch thick, it would be a total of 4.5 inches of material that you would need in order to wrap that thing properly with a collar that would then lap itself just fine. But again, that is assuming that's the type of collar you're going for. So you'll have to adjust it accordingly. The second method, and this is the method that I do when I have little one-off things to do. I actually just take the total of the sides, I just kind of figure it out roughly where it's going to be. So I just kind of lay it out, and then I kind of guesstimate long, and I trim off later. So I can just guesstimate it long, that way it comes around on the mandrel. If I'm a little over, great. It doesn't matter, so I just estimate to the plus side of things. If I'm just a fuzz long, I just take a hacksaw, saw that down, nib that little bit off, and I'm good to go. So there's multiple ways to skin the same cat, but it's your choice. But this is the piece that we're going to be wrapping a collar around. Starting with my mandrel and the anvil. And there is no anvil cam today. I'm just setting it up in one spot and then doing it at the other. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Jess.
George Constanza says, making a sample is what I call all my forging projects.
That's all right.
Kurt Martin says, I kid you not, I paint my tool handles pink. They stand out in a pile of scrap and no one will ever steal them. And if pink concerns you, just think of it as light red.
Say what?
If pink concerns you, just think of it as light red.
Yep. Well, all my tools have a little bit of green tape on them, so that's how I choose to use my stuff. I use a little bit of green tape on everything, so.
Hello, Jimmy Priest.
Hello, hello.
And let's see, Gregory Lightker, Bob's Fab and Welding, Tim O'Connor.
Hello,
Kyle
hello,
Jones.
folks. Thank you and welcome. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here.
Keith says paint them blue and Roy won't touch them.
You know me oh so well. All right, got this collar nice and hot. First, going to figure out where my first bend needs to be. About like that. Now, I'm not too concerned about this putting too many flats on this right now, because this is going to be a forged collar and forged welded as well. So it's going to be redressed back to half round. So I'm not spending a lot of time worrying about this, how this is going to come out. All right, there we go. Let me go back to camera 2, Jess.
Okay.
So we've made that first bend. Again, I didn't lay down any marks. I kind of just went by eye. See how we're already over that? So I just used the mandrel to kind of quickly give it a reference and then bent it at that corner. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Cool?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right. So now I need to take and make the next bend on this. And that bend is only going to be a 1/2 inch wide bend. So that'll be a little on the trickier side, but we'll get it done here.
Troy said was just working on a CCI layered copper and mild steel cross.
Very awesome. Very awesome. Yeah, that was a cool project. Oh, do we actually even have any of that listed on the website these days, Jess, or is that?
We do not have the copper crosses up on there yet because we haven't figured how we're doing that just yet.
Yeah, we haven't decided how we're going to do those just yet.
Yeah.
So those are by custom request.
Yes. Yep.
Oh. Very cool.
Basically, like all the crosses we do, we have, there's like a front piece and a back piece on a lot of them. And so I've priced them out for, like, if anybody wants to do the copper crosses, you can get like an entire kit where the front piece and the back piece is copper. And then I also price them out individually to where you can get like just the front layer. And then that way if you want it to be like copper on steel cross, you can do that.
Trouble, Roy. Ah. We'll get her tighter next round. Good, babe.
All right. Let's see here. Jay Now Adventure says, my forging weakness is measuring and making things symmetrical.
Yeah, measuring things and symmetry is a difficult thing to get right. I mean, it's kind of just the way it works. Really, it's kind of the way that it works. It's always going to be difficult to get symmetry right, no matter how long you've been at this for. Symmetry is always a struggle. I struggle with symmetry too, as well. And hell, sometimes measurements. Are we starting to see how valuable the mandrel is?
Mm-hmm. Looks very handy.
There we go. That did not take it where I wanted to go. No problem, no problem. I'll cut that back to where I want it and go from there. So you can see there's a big gap around this thing. It didn't quite do it right where I want it to be at. So I'm going to have to adjust that. Just trying to think of how I want to go about it. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut it back here because I got a little too much there. And then I'll reset it, reclamp it in the vise and get it to push that piece over. Get the excess out. Because basically what I'm doing with these forge welded collars is I want them to forge weld to the corner. I want my seam to be out, my forge welded seam to be out to the corner, not dead center of this. Now, that's just for ease of use for myself. Easy peasy, out it came. Get this whole thing hot again.
Boscarbito says, I need a book that gives me the a squared plus b squared plus c squared type formulas. And Rob Huff says, I'm pretty sure those formulas are in the Francis Whitaker book, The Blacksmith's Cookbook. And so he's rummaging around trying to double check that.
Yeah.
Blacksmithing related formulas.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, so I kind of like the statement I've once heard Mark Asbury say about formulas, about mathematics, is that they are great at getting you close. They get you in the neighborhood, right? But they are not the end-all, be-all. So, and I'm highly paraphrasing a little bit here. It's been years since I've heard him made that statement. But the way to think about math in ironwork is it's a great exercise to get you close. It's to make sure you're not wasting crazy amounts of material, right? Or you're coming up crazy short on material. So you have all this labor into a piece, and then it's like 3/4 of an inch too short. You know, you spent 12 hours on this piece, and then it doesn't fit, it doesn't do the job, right? It doesn't do that. So math is really great at getting you close to where you need to be. But at the end of the day, you have to do like all blacksmiths have done since the dawn of time. And basically, you need to do test pieces. You need to do a test forging for your tools, your process, and the way that you have it set up in your shop. That is what's critical for you. You need to know how you've got it set up to do it in your shop. Because math is perfect. You are not. One extra hammer blow, right? Or one heat too many, or if you were doing them at the anvil by hand hammer and then you switch up to production smithing them at the power hammer, you're going to have two totally different results. So math will get you close, but that's it. It'll only get you close. It's not the end all beat all. It's not going to take and just fix all of your life's problems just because you know the math on something. Wow, these are so close to the same dimensionally. Take it off right about there. Take it back a little bit more. I'm using the mandrel as my backstop for my chisel, so I can make my chisel mark to cut this collar off. Again, I'm thankful I made the mandrel. I'll bring it over to the other camera to show you here real quick. I'll get this hot one more time too.
Okay.
I'm glad I made this mandrel. So I'm just cutting it short of the other piece. That way I can get the wrap around a little better where I want it to be. I can get it a little tighter, a little more snugged up. And then I can tighten that collar up.
Rob Huff was saying that so he doesn't look crazy when he talks to himself, sometimes he sets up a camera and streams. Other people are like, I just embrace the madness and just go for it. Just talk to myself or talk to the project.
That's okay. You can do whatever makes you feel good there. Whatever gets you through your day. Whatever gets you through your day. Take a look at this thing. See how she's holding up? Yeah, she's holding up marvelously. Nothing but a glint on there of where the material's been at. So sweet. That is what I'm after.
Keith, occasionally he does talk in his sleep, but no, it's not Roy Rants.
No Roy Rants here. No Roy Rants here. In my sleep. Just in my sleep, though. No guarantee elsewhere. Using my mandrel, using my swedge again. Take it almost down. There we go. Sweet. Now.
Tim O'Connor says that mandrel is sweet.
It is, ain't it? Go to camera 2, Jess.
Yep.
I should slow down and just show this off on camera. Can we see that out there? See how it's poking out?
Yeah.
I'm going to take one more heat, and I'll come back to this and close it up fully. I can do it right now in there, but I want to take one more heat on this, and I'll come back to this. So I'm going to go ahead and heat this thing back up and do that. This is the whole point of this mandrel. Like I said, usually I'm used to working off of like little pieces, I guess you would say, like these like again, just like these little short, I mean, they're literally just little drifts stuck in there and operating as my mandrels, but they are just so annoying and fussy, and I forget them, and like, yeah, before you know it, I put all this work into making sure they're the right size and ground them nice and the whole thing, and then they get lost. They just get lost, you know. And if you do conferences, you know, like I'm doing, like I'm going out to a conference and demonstrating, then all of a sudden, like, it looks like any other piece of bar stock laying around. So it's like, looks like it's just an end piece, and it gets picked up and it gets trucked, or I forget about it in the slack tub. Highly irritating. So I won't have to worry about that no longer, which is nice. Because when you're demonstrating, for anybody who hasn't ever demonstrated before in front of a large group of smiths, and maybe those smiths are your peers, you know, your peer group. That means they've been doing it a lot longer than you. There is nothing more nerve-wracking than fumbling your way through your own project in front of everybody. Because I have no control over the light, I have no control over the space, I have no control over the tools that will be provided to me. Heck, I don't even have control over the forge. They might put me on a really junky forge for all I know, right? They may give all the other demonstrators great forges, and they give me the crud muffin that's, you know, in the back of the trailer somewhere, right? That nobody wants to use. And then I have to adapt on the spot to be able to do that. So the last thing you want to do is show up with not having your tooling figured out, your specialized tooling and your processes. So anything you could do to make yourself a little bit, save yourself a little bit of mental fodder for conferences, it's a good thing to do. So it's good to make tooling. All right, come out here, go to camera 2, Jess.
All right.
As you see, I've got that. I'm going to slip my little collar on here. I'm going to just close her up. Doot. Squeeze. Doot. squeeze. And what I'm realizing already here is these that I've made, these inserts, are actually for another collar, a different collar size than what this is. So I'm getting just the slightest little bit of galling on the sides of the collar there. So I'll have to make another set of jawl inserts just for what I'm doing there, another collar jawls inserts. But now you guys can see how that collar works out, right? Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know if they can see this. I'm going to point this out anyhow. And I can always punch in the camera a bit more. Can they see that right there, or is that really kind of far out?
It's pretty far out.
It's pretty far out? Okay.
Yeah.
Since I'm going to move this in, we might even have to go back to the main cam for a sec while I get this adjusted. That way people don't hurl.
Okay.
I want to make sure this is still focused. And just right. Oh, stay put. Use. All right. It's focused in there just right. All right. I really like this collar mandrel. I'm so enjoying it. I just got this thing done today, so I really love it. Is that looking focused now, babe, to you?
Yes, it does.
Look good. Can they see that a lot better?
Yes, that's much better.
Okay, so you can see here, see how I wrapped to the corner here? This is where the method, here's where your math breaks down. The math that you'll find in the cookbook is not for this type of wrapped collar. The math you'll find in the cookbook is for a collar that overlaps slightly, that it's assumed that you might put tapers on it, so it's going to be a collar that bypasses itself a little bit, or it's going to, once you're done forging the collar, it's going to touch. It's just going to butt together. So the math in the cookbook is for that kind of collar. It is not for this kind of collar where I'm going to meet on the corner. So for me, I have to do a test piece. I already know what size mandrel I need for the piece to be wrapped, but I have to forge my own type test piece, right? So how do you figure out exactly how long that's going to be now? Let's say I got to make like 4 dozen of these things, right? Well, it's very simple. It's called reverse engineering. You take the length of your material, your starting material. You make sure that this is a length that you know. It's already pre-described. Say it's 10 inches long. Okay? Say it's 10 inches long. You take that number. After you've wrapped it, you cut it off. The collar looks exactly the way you want it to be in order to be prepped to be forge welded. Remeasure your bar. And boom, you're right back at the same. You see what I'm saying? You're right back at the same difference. Mm-hmm. It's just a different way of going about it. This collar here, the way that I'm setting this up to be forge welded into the corner here, this is because this collar is going to be forge welded on. This was a terribly designed collar if you're trying to make one for just hot fitting a collar. A lot of old ironwork had hot fit collars, so where the collar was made like a big U shape, it got slipped on the piece and then folded over to where it butted on itself, and as that collar cooled, it contracted together and it pulled up tight, and then that's what held all the ironwork, and it wasn't forge welded or there was no additional things at all. And so in that case, you need to follow the one that's more outlined in the various books that I've already previously described. Those methods will do a little bit better for you. But where I'm joining it here on the edge, I'm leaving an area for this collar material to run out and fill out this corner as I forge weld up the piece. And if you're not going to be at Murfreesboro, Tennessee, you're going to miss out. I hate to tell you that, because there's going to be all of this information in like a zillion times more. It's going to be an information overload for 2 days. But basically, as I forge weld this collar and close up the seam, it's going to want to move, it's going to want to stretch, and you have to provide some place for it to go. You have to provide some place for this to stretch and go. And so that's what I've done here by going to the corner. Now when it's all forge welded out, you won't even see that. This seam will be gone. It'll be out at the very edge, and it'll just look like a nice, crisp, forged looking thing. So there you go, that's the collar. Been made.
Robert Lannis enlightened us with the fact that they can zoom up on the screen as well. So they can actually zoom during a live stream.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. So just like that with a few bumps of the hammer. That's a cool fact there, Robert. A few bumps of the hammer. Go back to the camera too. I got it right off. Can everybody see that better?
Yep.
So that collar's ready to slip onto my piece, basically. I'll have to heat it up a little bit and just pry it open, and then I can slip that collar onto my piece to be welded and joined. And we're good to go. Mm-hmm. So that'll bring me into a tip. This will be my one big tip for you guys in this stream this evening. So the big tip that I have for everybody in the stream this evening, there are a lot of methods to do, there's a lot of different methods in various things in blacksmithing. I don't care whether you're forging knives, whether you're forging hammers, whether you're forging tongs, whether you're forging tools, drifts, you name it. There are a ton of different approaches to doing the same thing. And the reason for that being is not because one person's right and everyone else out there is just wrong or hasn't figured it out yet about how one person is right. But there are all these different approaches to doing the same thing because people have had to take and do things according to the tools that they have on hand and time permitting on the job, right? They had to figure out different methods of doing stuff over the centuries. And every shop and every smith that you go and you work with and you hang out with, and this is what's great about going to conferences and things like that, it's a big smelting pot of ideas. The reason why that's a great thing is because you got to get out of your own comfort zone and try a different method. Don't say something doesn't work until you've tried it. One of the biggest cardinal sins of learning is thinking that you know everything already, or that you are somehow the smartest guy in the room. So don't think you're the smartest guy in the room. Chances are you're not. You do twice as much listening as you do speaking, and you will learn something new every time. Trust me, I promise you that. So I hope that's your main takeaway from this evening's stream, because I'm sure there are people already that will watch this, watch it on the replay, and say, well, that's not how Mark Asprey would do it. Well, good for Mark Asprey. Mark Asprey is not Roy Adams. Mark Asprey doesn't have the tools. Mark Asprey doesn't have the specific experiences that I've had. Mark Asprey has done his things his way, right? Or somebody say, well, that's not how Clay Spencer would do it. Well, Clay Spencer is not Roy. Clay Spencer has a totally different skill set. He has totally different things he's learned in his lifetime and very long career in smithing. So take the stuff you see me doing, apply it, see if it works for you. If it doesn't, maybe somebody else's method out there will work better for you. And that's what you should go do, because it might work better with your tools that you have on hand in your shop. It might suit you better for your personality and the way that you work. One thing I will say, I don't use a ton of math in my shop. I do a lot of eyeballing. So that means I have gotten really good. And anybody who's taken a class with me and taking a forging fundamentals class with me will know this. I have gotten really good at seeing volume in a piece and hitting a number dead on the nose. So if I tell you I'm going to make a 1-inch taper, I will make a 1-inch taper without ever whipping out a ruler or a measurement device of any kind until the very end, and it's dead on the money. But that also means that there are some things that are a holdup. Like my design work isn't the greatest. I can see it in here, it's hard for me to communicate it out on a large scale piece. That's something I have to work on personally. So you see how I'm going? Like, there are some people that say, well, every single forging, and I've heard it said, every single forging should start with a drawing and have all the math figured out on it. That's just not the type of smith I am. I'm the type of smith, I'm ready to just get in there, get after it, do test forgings, go right to the work, and then I eyeball a lot of stuff. You saw how I just eyeballed this collar. There was no marks. I didn't lay out any layout marks or center punch marks or anything like that. I just decided, yeah, that looks about right, and I went for it. And as you've seen, when I came around, it was like, that didn't quite come out where I wanted it. So I just adjusted in the moment. And that's what type of smithing I have done over the course of time. So remember that. There is no, like, definitive method that you have to adhere to in smithing. There are just various different methods, and you need to pick and choose, cherry pick the things that are best from different methods as you go along of whatever suits your project or your purpose. There's my long-winded rant. Hopefully that'll be helpful to some of you all out there.
Possum Sausage says maybe a V-shaped insert would be more universal for the vise. It would leave flat spots, but those could be worked out with top and bottom tools during the weld.
Yeah, V-shaped insert could be a possibility. See how this fits. Get that on there nicely. Okay, I need to get it hot again. Trying to open the collar back up now. Go to camera 2. Trying to open this collar back up now a little bit. So this way I can get it onto my piece. So I can actually slip this onto here. And again, if this was being hot collared on, like if I cared to try to get a hot collar on this piece, I would have to get this really open, put it on there, and then squeeze it down back together while it's super hot and then let it cool off. But because this is going to get forge welded here on there, I'm not worried about doing that, and this is just a sample piece. So I'm trying to just slip it on from the end or thereabouts. I want to make sure I got it open enough that I can do that and just slip it to where it's supposed to be. Get it hot some more. So the V shape could be more universal. It might be all right. I'd have to try it. I'm kind of a stickler. I like the shape to be exactly fitting to the collar material, if it can be. Like I said, this is just a little small. The reason why that's a little small is this is actually made up for a single rib collar, and I've got dies for that. And that's the reason why it's a little small, because the methodology is completely different. Let me see here. Let's see where my die's at. So, camera 2, Jess?
Yep.
So you see that center rib's not quite 3/8, but I'm working with something that's just a little over 3/8 inch wide. So that's kind of why it's biting in there. But that's a center rib. That's a single rib collar die to make up single rib collars. Now the method for making that's completely different than what I'm doing today, and it's just kind of like a completely different outlook. But I'm a big fan of having your tools fit perfectly to the thing that you're doing. Now, universally, you're probably right. A V is probably a better shape to do that if you're just holding the collar or just squeezing it around. So it would probably be great for this. Wouldn't be so great for the bottom die in the anvil. We can go back to the main cam, Jess.
Okay.
It wouldn't be so great for the top and bottom tools to be struck to form out the corners, like when you forge weld stuff, because then it'll be taking on that V. And I need to be able to press it down on all sides, make sure I get a nice even pressure all the way around, and not put a lot of work into turning it into a V. Right? I'm not trying to forge it into a V. I'm trying to make sure that it stays that nice crisp dome. So you're probably 100% right on the vice jaws inserts. They would probably be better as a V, potentially. I'm trying to think about that. That might be good. as long as it's a very shallow V. It'd have to be a really shallow V to be good. You won't want it to be a deep V, certainly not, because if you had something smaller diameter, it would slip way down in and it wouldn't be holding on that piece anymore. So maybe a really super shallow, kind of like 120 degree, maybe 130 degree kind of point kind of V, that might actually be really good that way. Center everything up and hold it together.
Rob Huff says, I have a V-clamp thingy that Bill Corey made, and I really like it.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Thomas
Cool,
is cluing everybody in on the trimming schedules of various animals.
Trimming schedules?
Yeah, for like goats and pigs and horses and whatnots. He says, this year we'll make 22 years of being a farrier.
Woo! That's a long time, Thomas. However, did you manage it? Something's not quite right on this one, I thought. There we go. That's kind of how I need to be. Okay, get that hot one more time. So I got it open. I was kind of trying to figure out how that collar should have went on there. I was putting it in the wrong direction. And of course, like you do, you got to put it in the wrong way at least once in your life. So there, it fits better in that direction, so I have to close it up like that. Want to get it on there, but there you go. Get that hot again. Set it on there proper now. Set it on there proper like.
Proper.
Set it on proper like.
Thomas says, you got to start young. Possum says, Thomas has been playing with toenails almost as long as I've been alive. Wayne, I'm glad you enjoyed the newsletter. So you all know, we just started a new rendition of our newsletter, and we call it Blacksmithery Bulletin. And I put a link down in the description for anybody who wants to join it. There's no cost, it's free. And it's christcenterdIronworks.com/newsletter. And basically what we're doing over on the newsletter is twice a month. I am sending out an email, and it's got some behind the scenes stuff. It's got links to our most recent videos. That way, like if YouTube's not doing a good job of notifying you, like you'll be able to see, like I give a summary and the link to each of our newest videos so you can see what's happening there. We'll have some exclusive deals on blanks that newsletter recipients get. And also, we are trying out doing a download for free for all of our newsletter recipients. It's going to be different each month. This month is the Forge Burner download. And so normally it's $4 at our website, so we're giving it out for free. And if you still want to join up for the newsletter list, we'll have that information in the next newsletter that'll go out, I think next week, most likely, towards the end of next week. So yeah, make sure to check that out if you want to kind of keep up with our going-ons, and we link to events we have going on and stuff over there too. So basically it's a all-around summary of what's going on here at Christ-Centered Ironworks.
Did not get that way I wanted it to be. Somehow that measurement grew a little bit. That's not where it needs to be at all. So I'll have to adjust that collar. I'll have to go to that next size up, I think. Give it that extra little bit of length there. Because I'm going to finish this off just so I can show people what it looks like here. Did not quite grasp exactly where it should be. So on the mandrel it was fine. But I should have left it just a fuzz longer. See? Again, the measurements are right, but then it came out wrong. It was great on there, but again, I could have had this a little thick or a little thin. You know, it's just what it is. So I need to actually readjust that collar and make the next collar just a fuzz longer. So this way it comes out better. This isn't fully seated where it should be either. So taking all that gap out will help pull out some of that slack. But I didn't quite leave enough material for the collar there. So I'm going to end up having to start over. That's why you make a bunch. That's why you do test pieces. Because even though you say, oh yeah, that looks like it's 3/4 by half, right? Maybe it's not 3/4 by half. It could be just a touch over. Or maybe it's a touch under and you have to trim off. So.
Rich Hartley, we've been going for about 58 minutes, but we haven't given away anything yet, so continue to stay tuned. And I'm sorry to hear that you had to have all your teeth removed due to an accident. Hopefully your recovery goes quickly.
Yeah, I hope your recovery goes quickly there. Sorry to hear that. There we go.
Tabaka says, OMG, we just saw Roy make a mistake.
Yeah.
He's showing you how to fix it. It's an extra troubleshooting tip you're getting.
I make mistakes every single day. Every single day. And that's how you get good at this craft, folks. Make lots of mistakes. Fail often. Fail, fail, and fail again. Fail often.
Don Maddox says a mystery tool could fix that issue.
What's that?
Don Maddox says a mystery tool could fix that issue. Yes. A very top secret mystery tool.
Yeah, he's saying I could go to a mystery tool now and, and give it away, and that fixed out. See, got it out. All right. Well, that collar did not work out quite like I wanted to, so I should have left a little bit extra length to it on the next one. That's what I'll do. We've already been going 58 minutes.
Yep.
Yep.
Correct.
The main thing I wanted to mess around with this evening was my mandrels, and the mandrels worked out beautifully. So I am super stoked about that. I couldn't be happier with these mandrels, the way that came out. That one was a little tight, so I'm trying to think. I should have cut it on the... I should have cut it just to the outside of that, and that would have gave me the right amount of gap versus to the inside. I think that's where I messed up. Yep. So this is why I'm doing all this now. So this way when I get to conference, I'll just look like a genius, a flat genius. Never mind, I'll have like 40 collars that are failed over here in a pile somewhere that you all will never see. They will you will never see the light of day, those collars won't. So, but never mind that. Don't look at my shame. Oh, the humanity.
Bobby says, could those mandrels be something you could offer as a plasma cut tool?
They would have to be some pretty thick material. So the mandrels, they could, but the deal about the mandrels, okay? So you could make a gauge as a plasma cut tool. So you could make a mandrel that is a gauge. So where it's like multiple sizes step down, they're all on like a gauge. But where the problem would come into is plasma cutting out the thickness. That's where the cost would come in. So like in order to offer these, right, I would have to cut 1/2-inch plate. You see?
It's a heavy plate.
I would have to cut 1/2-inch plate to cut this little, little zigzag, this little stair step in the end of it in order for that to be a reasonable option, right? So forging makes the most sense. And then at that, it would only be mild steel. So now I have to get high carbon steel plate, right? Something that's made out of some high carbon in order to cut out a 1/2 inch. And that's just for the 1/2 inch model. Then you have the 3/8 inch model, right? And then you have the 5/8 inch model. So now if you have 3/8, you have 5/8, you have 1/2 inch, you have all these plates, thicknesses you have to keep in stock to cut out these gauges, these collar gauges, and that's just not quite as, just not possible to scale a tool like this up. This is a bit of a custom tool that you'll just have to make on your own in your own shop. Really, at the end of the day, you could just get a bit of 1/2 inch bar that's, say, 1 1/4 wide, and then just cut or grind the segments into it. You don't even have to forge it if you don't need to. This just happened to be hex stock, so I needed to forge it into, some high carbon material. The high carbon material, I just needed to forge it into the shapes that I needed. So that's what I did. But yeah, these are kind of a custom thing that you would just have to custom make yourself. They're not really a viable tool that can be mass produced. At least not in my shop. At least not in-house here. I couldn't do it. It just cost you a kidney. At the end of the day, it would end up costing you a kidney to buy it from me. And I'm not into having to charge people boatloads of money.
Tabaka says, ignore the collars behind the curtain.
You don't see anything. Just listen to the sound of my voice. Don't use your eyes. What's up, babe? You're reading comments, but you're not reading them out.
Keith says, my shame pile is what gets chucked out the shed into the yard. Then I have to swallow my pride when I cool down and go hunt for it.
When you have to go find, little seek and find action.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tabaka says, Roy's mic cuts out when he's at the forge. Jess,
Does it cut out? Is it cutting out now, or am I fine?
I believe
Does
you're fine.
it cut out
now.
when I turn away like this? Is it cutting out now?
Let me see. Hang on. Let me turn.
Or is it cutting on now?
Okay.
Is it turning off when I'm over here? Is it because I'm blocking it?
No, I can see it fine.
See it fine there?
I think it's
here?
just the noise of the forge
overwhelms
the mic.
Yeah, the microphone's probably getting overwhelmed by the noise of the blower of the forge, so it's probably picking that up a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
What else, babe?
Let's see. Jesse Dunn says, possum, just wait till the mower will find it next time. And he says, that's why I hunt them down, LOL.
Oh.
Let's see here. Let's see. Blackbird Ironworks says, seems okay to me. The mic.
Yeah. Okay, mic's good. All right, good. How long have we been streaming for so far, huh?
Hour 5 minutes.
Wow.
I know, time's flown.
Dude, an hour blew by like super quick.
Mm-hmm, it did.
And all I accomplished in that is one messed up collar. a lot of talking. So, well, hey, that's all right. I got some more stuff I have to do to be ready for my conference. So, that's one thing I always do is I'm always a little over prepared for these things. So. I haven't found one demonstrator yet that matches me, period. And I'm just going to brag on myself. I don't care if it sounds arrogant or not. I have not found one single demonstrator that matches me in parallel with the amount of information I bring to the table. Maybe I'm a little bit too much information overload. I have watched a lot of demonstrations, and I've always found them lacking. I've always been wanting to be like, oh, man, I wish he would have said something about this, or I wish he would have shown the thing he's talking about. And I tend to bring way too much stuff. I bring way more things than what can fit within the time frame of the conference a lot of times. So I need to start adhering to like what I see everybody else do, show up with their hammer, and that's it. I'm like, yeah, I'll forge something. So, but yeah, no, I usually like being over prepared than under prepared, and yeah, so it's definitely information overload. But on that note, before we get into anything else, or I make any other tangents, any other side tangents on stuff, we should give some stuff away.
We totally should.
And then and we'll do that here in just a second. I do want to make mention to the channel members, anybody who is a channel member here at Christ Center and Ironworks, we will be having a live stream later this evening. We're looking about right around probably 8:30 to 8:45 for channel members, and you know, it'll go on from there, so be sure to tune in to that if you are a channel member. So it'll be the show after the show, and so if you're interested in that, you can become a channel member, or if you are a channel member, we will see you later tonight as well. So I did want to take and make that mention. I don't know if you did that earlier or not, Jess.
Not today. I did put
No?
the link up there, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, under the member section, but I will repost it again just so it comes back up again in your feed.
Yeah, I have actually been enjoying those member streams quite well, because they're just kind of like a hangout stream. It's a little more laid back. It's, you know, it's like, well, I don't do anything scripted, but you know, it's more laid back. It's a fun little atmosphere. It's like just a little group get together and hang out, which I like a lot. So I've been enjoying that personally quite a bit, doing the membership streams there. So, and I will mention this because it always comes up. Some people feel like you're being left out. Again, it's an extra perk for people who are choosing to support us on a monthly basis. So it's just a perk, it's an extra. You're not like missing out on anything specifically or per se, right? When it comes to the channel membership streams, it's just something that we're taking extra time and investing extra time hanging out with the community and the people that have chose to support us here and what we do here at Christ Center Ironworks. So if you just like the forging streams, you're just here for the giveaways, that's always free as always, and you can just hang out and do that for that time period that it is. So I'm going to set stuff aside because I will need to take and give some stuff away, and then I'll probably hit up everybody with some final thoughts, some other stuff that's coming up, and all that good stuff. I didn't accomplish fully what I wanted to do this evening, but an hour disappeared. An hour and 15 minutes now has disappeared probably since I've been talking like that. It dissolved on me very.
Dissolved.
And I'm trying not to turn this into a 5-hour stream. So.
By the way.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mountain View Forge and Iron, thank you for the $50 super chat towards a shipping donation.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate that.
And Tim O'Connor also kicked in $5, a shipping donation per the usual.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. All right, let's give some stuff away. Thank you for the shipping donations. Greatly appreciate it. It helps out tremendously. Helps out tremendously. So, all right, let's give some stuff away, shall we, hon?
Yes, let's
do we want to start with the Christ Center Ironworks brand Flux stickers?
Sure.
Do we want to do that? Or do we want to do the pendant? No, we'll do the Flux stickers. Let's do the Flux stickers, okay? So we got 3 Christ Center Ironworks brand Flux stickers. Go to camera number 2 and I'll show them off there.
All right.
Shaboom. Look at those. Look at that hot mess right there. So we got 3 of these to give away to 3 lucky individuals. These are rare as hen's teeth. We don't have many of them left. So if you're fortunate enough to win one, you have hit the lottery. So I don't know if or when we'll ever have any more of these made. Now, this is a little gag that got started over at Bar Run Forge. Troy and Eli started this little gag. They've actually got a pretty funny commercial that they do on my official / unofficial sponsorship of their channel, where they bring this up, and they have a whole funny segment on that as a commercial for me over there. So definitely go check out Bar Run Forge. They're pretty hilarious. So that's where this sticker came up with, and then this was printed by the lovely Dana Maggiore, for those that know him and love him. So he made these, so thank you, Dana, for making these for us all that time ago. It's been awesome being able to give away these type of stickers. And yeah, so like I said, rare hen's teeth. He doesn't print them anymore. So like I said, one of a kind. Well, 3 of a kind, plus whatever we have in stock still.
And these are open worldwide.
Yeah, this is open worldwide. So, all right, say sticker me please or something like that in your comment if you want to get one of these. And by the way, they actually fit on a 20 Mule Team Borax box. So they actually like fit perfectly over the logo of the 20 Mule Team Borax box. So that's how big they are. All right, in 3, 2, 1. Who do we have, Jess?
We landed on Roger Caldwell, who says, sticker me please.
Roger Caldwell, congratulations. You're the first winner of one of these rare as hen's teeth Christ Center Ironworks brand Flex stickers. So, you know what to do, Roger. You know what to do. All right, let's do the second one, shall we?
All right.
In 3, 2, 1. Who do we have, Jess?
We have Rigid Ironworks with stickers.
Rigid Ironworks, congratulations. You're the second winner. You know what to do. Get with us through the contact email in the description. Let's go for the third one now.
All right.
All right, ready, set, go. Who do we have, Jess?
We have VKG Hunter with sticker me please.
VKG Hunter, congratulations. You're the third winner of these Christ Center Ironworks brand Blacksmithing Flux stickers. Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations to all the winners there.
Awesome.
All right. They all commenting now?
Mm-hmm.
Still like crazy?
Yes, I unpinned the comment.
Yeah, you unpinned the comment now?
I put a little banner up there. That way if anybody has a slow lag on the video or something like that, at least you can see it in the chat.
Yeah, they could see who's who.
Yep.
Who won, where, and how.
So they can see what's being given away currently.
Okay, good. What else you got, beautiful?
All right. Rob Huff, is that a baby fly press in the back that I see?
Yes, it is. So that actually came from Blacksmith Supply. It's a 2-ton fly press over there. That's one of that's one of the ones that are made in India. This is like the Karachi brand fly press. Pretty solid little unit there. As you tell, I kind of like fly presses.
It is probably the start of a collection that will be just as many as he has swedge blocks one day.
Oh Lord, I don't have that much space. I have an unhealthy amount of swedge blocks.
There's a lot of wall space.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I know I got one more. 10.
Are you counting the little ones? Okay, yeah.
11.
There's one over here.
12. Yeah. 12 swedge blocks. So.
Yeah. Quite a few.
That's a little excessive, so I should probably do a spring cleaning and air out a few. But they all have different shapes, and
They do.
I might need them someday. You know, I might need that specific shape someday.
I use at least 3 of them. So.
What's that?
I said I use at least 3 of
Oh,
them.
sorry, 13. I like 13. There's one more there. I didn't even notice it was a striking swedge.
That's right.
I feel so much shame. So much shame. All right. Let's go ahead and go to camera 2, Jess, real quick.
All right.
So the next thing we're going to give away, woo, that light's bright on that.
Yeah.
We're going to give away this lovely little keychain here. This little Christ Center Ironworks enameled keychain that Jessica made. This is hand enameled by her. So this is going to be a beautiful little thing to give away. Again, these are rare as hen's teeth because she made a little short run of those as well, didn't you, hun?
Yep. I have a few left on the website. We have like a little merch area at blacksmithpdx.com. So there's a few left.
Yep. So, all right. So this will be for the little keychain. In 3, 2, 1. Who do we have, Jess?
We have Jesse Dunn with My Keys Are Lonely.
Jesse Dunn, congratulations. You are the winner of this Christ Center Ironworks keychain. Now your keys don't have to be so lonely, so forlorn. They don't have to be so forlorn. Lonely. All right, go back to camera 2, Jess.
All right.
Whoop, 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 whoop. Now we're going to give away this heart blank multi-pack. So this is a 4-inch heart bowl blank or dish or whatever you want to turn it into, a 6-inch heart bowl blank or dish, and then an 8-inch heart bowl blank or dish. So we're going to give this 3-piece set away to one lucky individual. If you are interested in getting some blanks like this, you can find them over our website, www.blacksmithingblanks.com. You be sure to check that out. It's where we sell all sorts, literally hundreds of different shapes, styles, and materials in blanks. Now that we have all of our blanks in mild steel, copper, or stainless steel for your liking and for your forging needs. So be sure to check that out. There's our shameless self-plug for the evening.
That's right.
Well, there'll be one more when we give away, well, 2 more when we give away the 120-degree tools. So there'll be those. So we're going to be giving away the Heart Bowl Blank multi-pack set for some lucky winner. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Who do we have, Jess?
We have Chuck Miller with Need My Heart.
Chuck Miller, congratulations. You can get a heart now. And it could be 3 sizes too large.
The anti-Grinch.
Yeah, it could be the anti-Grinch now. All right. Let's go ahead and give away the small 120-degree tool, shall we? Mm-hmm. All right, so I always get asked this. Every stream I give one of these away. If you don't know what these are handy as a tick. I mean, yeah, maybe I need to choose my words more wisely. These are a lot handier than Lyme disease. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't care. Anyways, these are as handy as can be. Anytime you make something tri-legged, I don't care what that is, right? Whether it be an anvil stand, a nightstand, or some other type of stand, and or if you're trying to make a trivet, right? Trivets have tri or trivet, 3 legs to them. This tool is invaluable. Now what this is this is the 120-degree tool that I designed to make for layout work of where your legs are supposed to go on a trivet. So if you didn't know how to do it, to get them lined up right, this tool will help you out greatly for laying this out. All these edges are at exact 120-degree angles from each other, so you can lay that on with a ruler and get an exact 120-degree angle, no matter how big the thing is. And then also there's these slots here, relief, where you can take and draw with a marker and get a layout lines that way as well as a perfectly centered hole to find center. So this is a super action-packed little tool here, and this is our 6-inch variety that we're going to be giving away. And then next we'll be giving away the 12-inch variety. So this is just for bigger layout work. It makes it a little bit easier to do a lot larger stuff, you know, for like pot stands and things like that. So there's the difference of those. You can see the big difference there. So we're going to give away this little 6-inch one now, and then we're going to give away the 12-inch one next after that.
All right.
Back to the main cam, Jess.
Yes.
All right, and this is for the 6-inch 120-degree tool. We're going to call that the mystery tool for this month. Mm-hmm. All right, in 3, 2, 1. Who do we have, Jess?
We have David Rednar with 120-degree tool, please.
David Rednar, congratulations. You're the winner of the small 6-inch 120-degree tool, just because you asked so nicely. Actually, it was totally random and by chance, but there you go. It helps. It helps to sow out good energy into the world, right? You know, say nice things, win nice prizes. All right, now this one's going to be for the large 120-degree tool now that we're going to give away. So, and then, oh, we still have a hammer blank to give away too as well.
We do have a hammer blank, yep.
I dropped it. It's robust, see?
It is.
It's robust. See, it didn't hurt it. It's not bent or nothing. See, that's how strong it is. All right, in 3, 2, 1. Who do we have, Jess?
We have Chris Timmons with 120.
Chris Timmons, 240, 360, 780, 120, Chris Timmons. You won that one, brother. Congratulations. Congratulations to the winners of those. All right. So I do believe we have a Beasler Blacksmith hammer blank to give away. What do you say, Jess?
We do.
What say you?
I have some pictures of that.
You have some pictures? Are you loading them up right now?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Right on.
All right, there we go.
Are they scrolling through?
Yep, they're showing.
Can they see what it looks like?
Yep, it is a 2-pound hammer blank, and it's made from 1045. It has a milled eye, and it is coming from Beasler Blacksmith. I do have his Instagram linked down in the description below. And this we are shipping in the U.S. He's going to ship it directly to the winner.
Yep. All right. So without further ado, let's draw for that, right?
Yes.
Does that sound good? Gonna put it in the chat. Are people already commenting?
They are.
Is it taking them a minute?
They are. They're getting ahead of me.
Getting ahead of you. Yeah.
Getting ahead of me.
They said to heck with the information. I just want to win it.
Well,
I don't care what it is.
How this works.
It could be soured milk, but I just want to win it. All right. 3, 2, 1. This is for the Beasler hammer. Who do we have, Jess?
We have Excelsior 1 with hammer blank.
Excelsior 1. Congratulations. You're the winner of the Beasler Blacksmith hammer there, blank. Get with us through the contact email in the description. We will get that sent out to you. Well, we won't. Beasler will. We'll send that over to that way.
We will
and
forward
they'll
your
ship
information.
Ship it.
Correct.
There you go. So, all right, cool. Cool. We gave away some stuff. It wasn't as big of a giveaway as what we've done in the past, various other months. I feel a little ashamed about that. I need to do a better job of getting some tools in. But over the next few months, I'm going to be, the next couple months anyhow, I'm going to be quite busy getting ready for my conference. Yeah, I mean, there's that. Who knows what we might come up with. And that's why we haven't committed to a particular tool of.
Yes.
The year there. So that's why it's a mystery tool. You never know what'll be coming. In fact, I've got some good things, hint, hint, coming out. Forges, blowers, some other various items that might be mystery tools later on this year. So you'll definitely want to keep checking back if you're just here for the giveaways. But beyond that, I hope you guys learned a little bit of something. I know we've been short or abbreviated on time when it comes to Collarworks. I wanted to kind of show off my new collar mandrels. I think those are handy. I really do believe, like, if you need a tool, specific tool, just take the time and make it. You get to learn along the process of what you need. You get to learn what works, what doesn't work for you and your particular setup as you go. And I think that could be really helpful and foundational as a smith. So I hope you guys do that. So I do want to mention this now. So one of the updates I want to take and talk about real quick about the channel and kind of some directions I'm traveling in here going forward. So we do have the conference in Murfreesboro, Tennessee coming up in May. I'm pretty sure Jessica's going to pull up a little screen on that now to take and show you all there so you can see all the dates and whatnot. You can screenshot that on your phone. If you're going to be anywhere in our neck of the woods, near the Murfreesboro area, that's not our neck of the woods, but if you're going to be in the Murfreesboro area or around Tennessee or things like that during that time, this would be a great opportunity for you to come visit. So Mark Asbury's going to be there. He's going to be teaching. I will be there. There's another smith there by the name of, I'm forgetting, gosh, I'm blanking.
Come back to it in a minute.
Yeah, come back to it in a minute. Jessica will find it.
Yeah.
She'll Google it. But a super, super talented smith. both focusing on, my demonstration, and his demonstration is going to be on traditional ironwork and ironwork, that sort of thing. So, those are all going to be, that's all going to be awesome. So there's going to be a lot of learning, a lot of chances for education, a lot of people getting together. And also, I am going to go ahead and put this out there and mention this out publicly, because it's something that I've been giving a lot of thought to over the last several months as I've been coming up. Generally, I go around and I do at least about 3 to 4 conferences a year. I teach 3 to 4 blacksmithing classes elsewhere other than here a year and things like that. And for the next 3 years, for the foreseeable future, anyhow, until 2028, this will be my last conference that I'll be demonstrating at for a while. So this will be your last chance to see me at a conference until the year 2028, when I re-enter that scene. If the blacksmithing community even wants me by then, who knows? Who knows? I might break one too many anvils. I might break one too many cardinal rules of blacksmithing. I might just be ostracized altogether, and all you can do is see me here on the internet and on the YouTube. So that may very well be the case by then. But one of the things I've been endeavoring for the last 5 to 6 years to really get going, and I haven't had the ability to do so fully, I've had a lot of false starts, and then I've had to stop for one life thing or the other, has been I've wanted to focus on some masterpiece tooling and some masterpieces, several different types of designs I've had cooking in my brain. And for one reason or another, not skilled enough, not enough time, not enough tooling, whatever, I have not done these specific things that I want to do. And so I do want to undertake these. I plan on filming the process as I go. I plan on storyboarding the processes as I go. And so I have these things I want to get done, and I'm not going to get them done if I'm constantly out of the shop preparing and going to various conferences and various classes and constantly leaving my home shop instead of doing stuff that I want to get done. So that's the big one for this year. So for the next 3, I'm kind of announcing it publicly. It's a great way of, let's face it, YouTube will bury this live stream in like 2 hours from now. They'll bury it to the bottom of the bay, so no one will know except for whoever was here at this live stream. But that's kind of like a public accountability for myself. I'm going to hold my own feet to the fire, so to speak, and get after the type of work that I want to do. That being said, I've got some really cool stuff coming up. One of those things is a master tool chest. And when I call it a master tool chest, this thing will be so grossly over the top, it's not even funny. I have some tools that will be going in that as well that will be highly chased and carved, embossed, reliefed, engraved. And I've got a ton of designs and thoughts processes for that I want to focus on, and those all require hundreds upon hundreds of hours of dedication and time in order to take and produce. And so, with that being said, like I said, for the next 3 years, yours truly is going to be a bit of a ghost when it comes to conferences and workshops and things like that. So I just wanted to put that out there for anybody. So if you're in the Murfreesboro area, that's a great time for you to come learn from me. Don't make the mistake of being one of those guys like, oh, I heard something like that was going on. Well, I had tea time. I couldn't come over there, I'll catch you at the next one. There won't be a next one until 2028. So just putting that out there.
Tal Harris.
Tal Harris, right? Is
Yep.
it Tal or Tall? I
don't know.
I wonder how you pronounce that. Yeah.
Not sure.
Tal Harris. You can Google his work. It's wonderful work. So wonderful ironwork. So.
Ulfbert Forge also says there is a Renaissance fair nearby that weekend for those who want to go visit Roy but want to send the family away for the day. Give them something fun to do.
Hey, that's a good one too, Who knows, maybe there's a bunch of Ren Fair people will be around as well. Who knows? So, but Yeah. Any more questions, comments, Jess, that I can answer before we
Roger
move
Caldwell says, just keep quad state in the back of mind.
Oh, it would. Yeah, quad state. Quad state. I like going to quad state, and you know, it might always be a little bit in the back of mind there. Like I said, for the next 3 years, I'm going to stay pinned down here in the shop and focusing on getting the things done that I really want to take and do. So.
Rob says, I'm hosting my hammer in on the 18th and still trying to make it down there. That'll be a tight turnaround.
Yeah.
From Ohio, or well, he's in Indiana, but
yeah. No.
Indiana to Tennessee.
Yeah. One thing I do want to kind of parrot, so John Switzer, you know, at Black Bear Forge, he actually just did a video not too long ago where he did some Q&As, and he talked about demonstrating, right, and doing conferences. And so he has like 2 conferences, one that he'll be just doing at his own place. It's kind of like a club get-together for the Rocky Mountain Fest. And then he has one that he'll be doing at, I believe it's the Northwest Blacksmith Association or something like that. It's way out on the West Coast and the Pacific Northwest. But he talked about, and rightfully so, for anybody who has done or prepped to be a demonstrator or to be a teacher or to go around and do conferences, what you see at the conference for those 2 days is about 2 to 3 months of actual work, right? That like there's like 2 to 3 months of actual work on a good demonstrator's part before conference. So you can backdate that up, that it takes a lot of prep work, and it just kind of like it puts a big it puts a big splash. So again, if you imagine me doing 3 conferences in a year, right? Backdate that up 2 to 3 months. Half of my year's gone just spent working on conferences. And then if you teach classes, that's a month of work, of prep work easily if you're teaching a class as well. Unless you're just kind of, you know,
winging it.
Unless you're winging it and kind of stealing people's money, you know, because, you know, wasting people's time, you're going to spend a good amount of time, at least a month, planning out, figuring out your curriculum, getting stuff set up. You're out of town. You might have 2 days of travel prior, 2 days of travel back. You're gone out of the shop for 4 days minimum, that for a 1-day weekend workshop somewhere. And so it takes an immense amount of time and effort. So if you do see somebody who you want to go take in, that someone's coming to your area, right, to take and teach at your local club or demonstration, things like that, like, it's a small effort on your part to go spend the weekend with them, right? Like, it's a small effort on your part to go over for a few hours and sit at a demonstration when that person took 3 months to be there, right? They took 3 months of prep work to get to where they are. So I've heard it said many a times, like, well, I'll just get them next time. You know, like I've had a couple classes like that where the class got missed out on because they're like, he'll probably be back down in a couple months to teach a class. And then, right, so they didn't take the class, and so therefore there wasn't enough bodies to run the class, and that sort of stuff happens. So don't take any moment for granted. You never know when someone's not going to be there next time. So, you know, that's just a good rule, you know, life rule to live by. But anyways, I'm going to stop waffling on. I've got other stuff to do. We got to get dinner. We got a member stream to take and get to later this evening. I don't know what time it is right now, Jess. Do you know what time it is?
6:41.
It's 6:41. Okay. Yep. So let's figure about 8:30. Does that sound good to you, hon?
Yeah.
For the member stream.
Mm-hmm.
So for all you channel members, we will be having the members live stream at 8:30. Mm-hmm. For any of you who are interested in attending to that. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you guys are welcome. They're saying thank you for the live stream.
Hey, you're very, very welcome. Thank you all for being here. I mean, if you don't show up, there's no point in doing one, right? Like, we've got 3 cameras set up, wires running everywhere, lights, you name it. There wouldn't be any point in doing it if you guys didn't show up. So we really do appreciate each and every last one of you out there. And so thank you all so much for being here. Should I share about the thing behind the scenes that's going on with the teaching stuff yet, or no? That we're going to be doing, or should I wait?
If you want to,
until it's
you can.
more
It'll
settled.
Still be a little bit. I mean, so we don't have any of the details. It's just kind of a concept that you're sharing.
Yeah. So I'll share a concept and then I'll let you go. I'll share a concept and I'll let you go. So we talked with the members in the last stream of what we could do to take and do more perks, and we proposed an idea for the membership, for the people who are channel members, of like what they might be worth more to them. And one of the things that Jessica and I are going to be working on this year is doing some online courses. So to have like some online teaching, and they won't be courses as in like it's a pre-recorded video and then you have to go watch the video or something like that. These are going to be part of the membership tier packages where they are actually online classes. So they're like a Zoom class or like a Meet class where I lead you all through a very specific product or a very specific project, and we deep dive into stuff, and there'll be some opportunities as well going forward for one-on-ones that way as well. So that's something that we're working on the background. We haven't got all the ends tied up on that yet. There's a lot of digital stuff we have to get squared away. That way it runs and it functions correctly as it should, and be a good thing like that. But that is on the horizon. That'll be coming here soon. And we're doing that for all the people who are overseas as well, right? People who it would cost them their firstborn to fly here to take a single day class with me. So I think it's going to be a great thing for everyone who's involved. It'll be definitely a great perk. It's an additional perk to membership for those of you that are members. So that will be coming soon to a Christ Center Ironworks near you. And I always have to put this same caveat out there because there's bound to be somebody who gets kind of worked up over it, like, oh, it's becoming a pay-to-play channel. Nope, it's not. The 2,000 plus videos of content that are here on Christ Center Ironworks and going forward will always be free. They will always be there. I just like to give additional value back to the community if I can. And I have to get paid something for my time to do that as well. So hence, it's just an additional perk for those who want to take advantage of it. So other than that, all the content will remain free here on Christ Center Ironworks. You'll get to watch my life, my last decade of my life on the internet. Feel free to just watch it all on loop, help that YouTube algorithm. And without further ado, I'll let you all get to it. God bless each and every last one of you. And Jessica, lead us out with a poem, shall you?
All right.
Thank you all for being here. Good night.
I'm going to read a poem from Under the Chestnut Tree that is written by or gathered by Adam Smith. He put all these poems together for us. This one's called Innovation. A smart smith thought of a hoop for a tire, welded it up when thee was gone, in a circular fire, doused it with water and shrunk it on. Many a smith would not believe it. Many a head was shaken no. Many a one would not receive it. Nevertheless, it was a go. It was a great thing, 'twas a wonderful day, when tire were shrunk on in this newfangled way. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We hope you have a wonderful weekend. God bless you.